Welcome to South Asia Maps, your intellectual Kshatriya channel, Human Ecology part. This is your presenter J. Reddy. We are exploring the human impasse, human ecology. Some of the monumental work Dr. Catton Jr. did in his book Overshoot and Bottleneck. This is about human ecology and human predicament, human impasse. Last time we talked about the carrying capacity, the concept. This time, a part 2, we'll talk about taking over the land. Before we get into the topic, this is our intellectual Kshatriya channel, South Asia Maps J. Reddy. There are more than 190 meticulously made Indology related videos there. This new playlist we started recently, the human ecology, will be dealing about the very fascinating systems approach of human life on the planet Earth. This is the only one planet Earth on the spaceship that humans live. The life on this and how it is molded and how it is influenced. That is the entire idea of exploration. If you are looking me and listening me, my presentations are say chart. Please do put some comments. I know what are your preferences and how you feel about the presentations. Coming back to the today's, this is the important book. Some of the concepts I will be discussing come from Dr. William Catton Jr., who passed away around about 2015 or so. And his book Overshoot is a monumental pioneering book in human ecology, human predicament. Other book Bottleneck, humanity's impending impasse. This is about human ecology, that is a complex web of interactions humans as a biotic community members, human animals make on the habitat. So here I have taken a systems approach, integrated approach and holistic approach. After you follow this series of presentation, you will get a very fascinating, a different perspective to look at the contemporary social, political, economic events on the planet Earth. And we talked about the carrying capacity last time. That is the part 1. Today we will be talking about the taking over. What is taking over? Excuse me for my allergies. And here the same 3.3 kilometers, a primitive habitat in a tropical country or subtropical country, 3.3 kilometers, 3.3, round about 10 square kilometers. India has 3,200,000 square kilometers, that is 3.2 million square kilometers. If you divide exactly like this, you will get 3.2 lakh, that is 0.32 million units or villages or segments, whatever it may be. Here we see hunters and gatherers, a primitive community which doesn't know any idea of agriculture. They live here, a few people, arbitrarily I have put 10 here. They live by hunting and gathering. That is the carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is nothing but the number of the people a habitat can support. This habitat, that is hunters gatherers habitat, without agriculture support, let's say 10 people. They have realized and found out agriculture around about 1200 years back, when they just the fruits they have eaten, they planted that. After 2-3 years, the tree came up and started giving the fruit. That's so horticulture, agriculture started, domestication of plants, animals. Then the concept of taking over. So now If you come after like a few thousand years, like 5,000-6,000 years, they cleared the forest, half of the forest here in that land, the same land they were living, and start planting the crops and living. So what they have done is they increase the carrying capacity of this land for the settled agriculture. It's, let's say, 200 people or 300 people, does not matter, again arbitrary, but that will be lot more than this hunters gatherers habitat or community. 10 people here, let's say put 500 people here. They have taken over the land. That is called taking over. Humans can improve the carrying capacity, the number of people the land mass can support, territory can support. One by taking over, other by drawing down of the resources. That we'll talk in the next presentation. So taking over is the increasing the opportunities of a species. Here we are talking about human species. Biologically they are called Homo sapiens. Sapiens means wise. Sophistry means knowledge or intelligence, something like that. Because they named themselves, they called wise. That is one aspect. Homo sapiens, human animals, we call it. There is nothing derogatory, you have to keep in mind to emphasize the audience that humans are animals. Who are human animals, we are part of animal kingdom. There is a plant kingdom next to us. They increase the opportunity themselves for human species, reduce the opportunity for other competing species. That is very, very important. Lot of people will not pay attention to that. What are those competing species? Previously, in this forested area, there used to be a lot of other wildlife. Jackals, let's say cheetahs, hyenas, whatever may be, some wildlife, elephants, chimpanzees. When they cleared the forest, all of them passed away, eventually died. They couldn't reproduce next generation. These are the competitors. Fauna, that is the biological term for living organisms, animals. Flora means the plants. So some of the native plants all they cleared. Now they plant mostly like the rice or wheat or corn, the principal grains. So taking over is a way of increasing the carrying capacity for ourselves, human species, in a particular habitat by removing our competitors, flora and fauna. That means from hunters-gatherers community. They have not taken over anything. They were one among many other non-human animals like foxes or lions or cheetahs or any smaller rabbits living there. They just hunted and lived themselves. Just like the hyenas or foxes are hunting their prey and living. Humans were hunting, maybe perhaps with some primitive weapons they made or tools they made. Now they cleared, they have taken over the land. Here we say arbitrarily half of the land they converted into arable land, a farming land where they plant the grains, the sorghums or bajras or millets, rice eventually, or wheat or corn or maize, so on. That is the taking over method of enlarging carrying capacity of the land. Take for example, round about 1500, Europeans started discovering voyages and navigation technologies, the sea route to the New World. Previously in this area, very few people lived. Round about 1600, how many people lived, we don't know exactly, but projections say around about 600 million people. Easy to remember. 1600 means drop the one. Remember, 600 million people lived the entire planet Earth, among which 50 million people lived in Americas, remaining lived in the old world. Around about 150 million Europeans lived here. They immigrated slowly to North America. They took over the entire continent, North America, South America, Central America. Their initial competitors were flora and fauna. They cleared all the forests, virgin lands, and made farmlands. They encountered native Indians, Amerindians, and which these people, Europeans, according to their contemporary belief system, Christianity, thought they called them Gentus, and they eliminated them slowly. This is called redundant population or dispensable people, and took over that initial competitors for flora and fauna, the later competitors what they considered subhumans, redundant population, native Amerindians, and confined them, killed them or confined them to reservations, took the entire land coast to coast. That's why America became very wealthy, prosperous nation. Lot of people are not today discuss or even not aware of it. By taking over the two new continents, European immigrants, settlers, colonizers, invaders, increased the carrying capacity for themselves. Remember, there are two ways to increase the carrying capacity. One way is taking over the land from our competitors, flora, fauna, in case of North America, Australia, visa, native dispensable people, what European colonizers thought. Thank you very much, Mitrom and Bandhu. This is your presenter, J. Reddy, and we discussed about taking over way of enhancing the carrying capacity for humans. This presentation is a part of South Asia Maps Ecology series, Human Ecology, Human Predicament. Reference is mostly works of Dr. Catton Jr., William Catton Jr., his Overshoot, his Bottleneck, and Human Impasse. And see you in the next presentations. Thank you very much for joining me today.